You know what? It's time for more progress here at Flying Sparks Garage, and this week we're going to be working on our enclosed trailer. We love this thing, and we bought it years ago, and we got it just good enough to use, and then we stopped working on it, but we're back. We are so stoked to see progress on this thing. We have a huge trip across the country from Texas all the way to Maryland at the end of the month, and you guys are going to see all the adventures unfold here. Giant thanks to Shopify for sponsoring this video. We bought this trailer years ago, and it's actually a retired blood donation unit. It was owned by the Red Cross, so there was one office there and one office there where people did blood donations. So it's kind of funny because of that, but it works really well. People make fun of us and say it looks like a horse trailer, and they're not wrong. But hopefully we can change that. This is the portion of the trailer where we're able to haul vehicles. So like the garage portion. And it works quite well. We can fit our C20 tool truck in here, Garfield, and we've run it quite a bit down the road.
Yeah.
The funny thing about projects is we got this one to where it was at a usable place. The living quarters works. We got a bed up there. We have a functional bathroom. It's sort of functional, mostly functional. And then like a little garage area that works, but we really need to finish it out because it's worthy of that. We got this awesome sheet aluminum that's kind of a charcoal gray, and we'd been cutting and installing it, and then we got held up, and we just need to finish it. But the problem is a whole bunch of that metal sat outside, so we're gonna go pull it out of the yard and hope that it's in halfway decent shape to be able to finish the trailer out. But one of the things that needed to take place was the wiring, and that is where we got held up.
Yeah, for sure. I'll show you around. So we stopped on this back here because there's wiring behind these walls. We had a plug over here and a plug over here, and I think I've decided what we're gonna do is we're just gonna put one plug back here. It'll be a 4-prong, and we'll put a extension cord reel up here. But that plug's gotta be installed before she can put the paneling back on. We used to have a plug over here. We're just gonna eliminate that and not worry about it. This trailer had 3 15,000 BTU AC units on it. And this one back here, I do believe we're gonna block this off because we don't need it. In the event that we're in a really hot environment and we're trying to sleep, we'll just put a curtain up or something like that and run those two up there. All the lights in this trailer ran off 110, and it had 2 generators mounted where our bed is right now. So because we eliminated the generators, and we like to stop at rest stops and camp for the night, I want the whole system to be 12 volt. When I say 12 volt, what I'm talking about is I want all the lights to be on 12 volt, and I want the ability to charge our phones. We can work off gas for cooking and things like that, but I need to get all that plumbed in so we can start putting ceiling in here, but that's a couple days from now.
We're excited to show you more of what's on our list on the trailer. The rundown for today is we have a fella coming that has watched our videos for years and years. He emailed us and said, I do auto glass. If you guys want me to replace the windows in Optimus Grime, I would love to come out and do that. And so we said, heck yes. So he's coming today, and we're excited for that. And Aaron is just gonna be doing incremental wiring progress. Simultaneously, we have the kid, our niece, and Chloe, her cousin. They are in the paint bay working on Chloe's K10. So I'm kind of bouncing back and forth, helping them with their goals and missions because they're getting stuff done. We're just gonna do what we can and take y'all along with us as usual. Before we jump into full-on trailer progress, we're gonna thank our sponsor for this video, Shopify. We use Shopify like crazy. It has helped us so incredibly much. If for some crazy reason you haven't heard of Shopify, it allows us to sell our merch online and in person and focus on doing what we love, which is making videos for y'all.
And building cool stuff.
Yeah, that too.
Not only does it allow us to sell merch, it allows us to track the inventory. We can see if something's been shipped, if it's been unfilled. So if we're at a show, it's really cool. They've got a point of sale system where we've got a cash register. So if you're at a show and your kid wants a pretzel and you spend all your money on that, we can take cards, which is really cool.
Another thing I really like on the business side of things is Shopify seamlessly connects to our YouTube channel. So you guys are able to see the merch we have available, and it connects right there. Like there's a button you can grab merch, and that just helps us as business owners make things easy for folks to buy. And it's all due to Shopify. Flying Sparks Garage started off with us in a little shop, a few tools, and a cool car to work on, and a dream. If you have a dream, dude, make it happen. Shopify can really help you build a business that you're proud of. We certainly are grateful for the platform. Start your Shopify store right now by going to shopify.com/Flying Sparks Garage. So this kind feller owns a glass shop, and he is coming to work on Optimus Grime because we have fresh glass for it and we've been just sitting on it. He's gonna replace the glass, but he wrote here in style. Dude, come introduce yourself.
Oh, it's actually I'm his brother. He owns the glass shop.
I know, but I said he wrote here in style, so I want you to talk about this unit.
Yeah, sure. This is the Average Joe.
It's an LS.
It's a 6-liter, fully built, B&M transmission built. They're one of our sponsors, and I drive Joe all over the country.
Dude.
Everybody knows the Average Joe.
Turbo sticking out of the hood.
Oh, yeah.
And it's even got the little tractor flappers. Dude, it's so good.
Yeah, I got stuck in Hurricane Milton with this.
What?
Yeah, I had to sleep in the back of it.
Survived.
Yeah. I drive it all over the country. I take it everywhere.
It's so badass.
Oh, nice.
I love it. So you have a YouTube channel, they can check it out as well?
I have a Texas Racing channel.
There it is. Y'all go check his stuff out.
Yeah, we're actually building another one of these with a 12 valve in it right now. It's sitting in my garage.
Nice.
That's what I'm building for him.
Come and swap.
Yes.
Heck yeah. So cool. We got the window that we got from 4 State Trucks, and they sent all of the good rubbers and everything. And he's getting all set up. These windshields are so gross to film out of. They're so bad, so it's gonna be so nice to have them fresh. There it is. They were tripping out because these windows have a brow, what we thought was a brow on it. And usually the dark part goes to the top, but they were like, it doesn't fit this way, it goes to the bottom. I guess this is maybe a trucker window thing? I don't know. That's how it goes. The tint goes to the bottom. Interesting. Looks good though. Maybe it protects the dash or keeps glare off, something, who knows. You guys can tell us in the comment section, but it's gonna look nice.
So I think I've got the wiring figured out for the lights. What I've done is I've got 2 strands and I'm just needing 12 volts. So we can ground to this trailer because it's a steel frame. So we're gonna use the trailer as the ground. So I've just got 1 strand on each end for the light, and I've just kind of zigzagged it down these beams. One of the things that I'm considering is it's got to go in between. I don't know how well you can see that. So you got these that will support the ceiling, and then you got this gap. So I've had to run my wire between that gap and then down each column that there's gonna be lights in. So it's very crude right now, but I think I've got it figured out, and I've got to go get some plywood and actually put up here so I've got something to mount the lights to. Then we can start terminating ends and getting it ready. On this end of the trailer, I'm gonna put a dimmer switch in here because this is a lot of LEDs. And oftentimes when we're in the trailer, it's nighttime when we're trying to get ready for bed and whatnot. And I don't want bright lights blasting us. So there will be a dimmer, and it is gonna go on the side of this box right here. So I'll run that wire down that wall if I can, and into this box and put the switch right over here. It's the same setup that we have here, just a little dimmer switch, tap that, lights come on, hold it, and they get dimmer or they get brighter. So pretty cool setup, pretty easy, all 12 volt. We don't want anything on 110 that we're gonna be using daily. So all lights will be 12 volts. The shower is gonna operate off 12 volts, 12 volt pump. The hot water heater is gonna be propane. So this thing should be fairly self-sufficient as long as we're not like trying to charge huge batteries or try to run power tools or something like that. So that is the start of it, and I will know more as I do more. Just figuring it out as I go. So this is for my 12 volt. I just use this. This is like one out of a boat. Pretty easy, you know, ground, power, and then you get all these different legs you can pull off of. That's how I have the current lights wired in. That fuse is probably too big, but we'll get to that when we get to it. On an RV, now this is interesting. You have two legs of 110 coming into an RV, but they do not go to the same side. So you're never getting 240 volt. Everything is 110. So the way I've got it wired up here, I'm gonna wire one side on this front AC, and that'll be on an external plug outside the trailer for a 30 amp, which is what my generator is. So when we need to stop at night, we can plug into just one side of this box. Now, when I put my 50 amp plug on the back, we'll bring poles in and we'll power both sides of this breaker box. So 110 and 110, as long as we never put a double breaker in here, we'll never have 220. That is something that's confused me in the past. You see those giant 50 amp RV plugs and you think 220, because I'm a shop guy, I'm around welders and stuff like that. It's not like that. It's two separate legs of 110 so that you can run multiple ACs and stuff, and you're not limited by a 110 plug. So effectively what you're doing when you plug a 50 amp in, you're running two extension cords to your trailer that go to two separate sides of your breaker box. Now, that's the knowledge I think I remember from 5 years ago when I researched it and actually did all this really fancy wiring. Just trying to relearn and retrace my steps. But I think most of the stuff's wired in. We've already got it wired up the way I was talking about. One side is two ACs and one side's the other AC, and then the plugs and stuff like that. So I'll trace things back, figure it out, make sure I've got what I need, but the wiring is getting very close on this rig, and that's exciting because that is what held us up from putting the walls and the ceiling back in it. So I'm gonna have to go run and get a plug for this. I want 4 110 plugs back there and get that wired in. We'll get rid of those Scotch locks. Over here used to be a plug. I'm going to just eliminate that wire. This last AC back here, I'm gonna eliminate it as well. It is wired in. That's that big long one that's running up there. If I wanted to run it up there, put Scotch locks on it and tape it, just in case I ever want to put a third AC in it, I could, but it's not necessary. The cool thing is, the way we've designed this is there's going to be walls, obviously this cold aluminum stuff, and a ceiling that's the cold aluminum stuff. That'll be permanent, but we are going to put screws in it. We were trying to do screwless, didn't work very well because we have plywood walls in here and the glue won't stick to them. So we're gonna run screws, but up here on the corner, we're gonna just cut a piece and bend it. So we got a corner piece there and we can take it in and out and maintain this wiring and stuff like that. So we're on the right track. It's just confusing and I gotta stay focused and remember what the heck I'm doing. So this is my splitter for my top 3 gears. You've got your high, low range, and then you've got, in the 13 speed, you've got the top 3 gears get split as well. You remember on the episode when we went and picked up the white, that valve started leaking quite a bit. I've definitely got an air leak that's developed. And I thought it was actually internal to the transmission, but my dad came over And he said, you know, that's got a little puck in there with 3 O-rings on it, and you can just pull that out, replace it. And luckily I'd already bought one. So I bought a new one of these. I really don't see anything wrong with this old one. But I do see a lot of rust on it, so we'll get a wire brush up in there, clean it, and then we'll get this one in. Well, I really hope that fixed it. That's just a little puck in there with 3 O-rings, and then it's got like it's got a little valve thing in it. Think like a Schrader valve for a tire or air conditioner. And hopefully that's where it was coming from. I won't know. I'm about to fire it up, build some air pressure, and we'll see if it fixes it. I would love to pull this transmission out, put an easy pedal clutch in it. They've got some that are just easier to push down. And kind of go through the synchros in the transmission, fix any leaks, new seals, all that stuff. But I simply don't have time. We've got to be in Maryland in this truck in a week and a half. So yeah, there's a lot of work to do on that race trailer, or enclosed. Emily wants to quit calling it a race trailer because we don't race in it. So in the enclosed trailer, and if I got to pulling a transmission in between there, that is going to be a big problem. So fingers crossed, we're about to fire it up, see if the air pressure leaks out. Well, that glass looks really nice. I like it. Perfect. Love it. I am so grateful. My blood pressure just went down a few points. We obviously got some maintenance to do, but that was going to be a big one. So it's fixed. Now I am back to the trailer. That's going to work out, I think. We'll have that longer board across there, which will give us a place to put the 2 lights. It'll also give us more surface area to screw that ceiling to. And then I think what I need to do next is go in and measure. That came off a sheet of plywood, so we're talking 48 inches. So I need to center that, make marks all the way down my beams, so when I get up there I can just zip them in.
I like this precision template you have here, babe.
I was gonna cut it out of cardboard, and then I was like, well, if I just screw a hose clamp down to my exact measurement, we got a hole.
So good. Oh man. Tech tip.
It. Now we got to just screw those things in, which is kind of hard to, might need 2 people. Get them in place, and we can run the wires through it and then put the lights in. I ran her over. Some deep ruts back here.
Check out this bamboo.
Looks like this trailer might kind of be in the way.
Oh yeah.
I have to attempt to back up a little bit and then cheat it that way. Cool.
Huh, yeah. This is crazy. We have like, I don't know, a handful of trailers back here in the weeds. This wasn't weeds when we put them back here. This bamboo just takes things over. This junk is wild. So we'll see. We got a crazy corner here. This tree fell and pushed the trailer over into it. So let's make sure this clears. No. It's hitting something. It's hitting that little trailer. Oh. So I decided to unhook the trailer and see if I could manually just scooch it over. It's such a lightweight little trailer. And I think it's gonna work. I think it's gonna clear.
Hey, so now I need to read back?
Yeah,
Okay.
Unfortunately you do. Beautiful. Bend over, fellas. Okay, hold. Okay. Well, hold. Okay. I got the junk off the truck. Oh my gosh. Thanks, Mom. Mom jumped in the nick of time. How cool is that? Oh gosh. Hopefully that metal is worth a dang. Dang it. Nicely done. Now that this homely little trailer is here with all of our metal, aluminum and the metal that we used to frame out all of the interior stuff, I'm gonna do a quick clean job on this stuff to check out the status of it. Hopefully it's still usable. Honestly, it looks pretty good. I didn't power wash it or anything, so it's still dirty, but I was playing with pulling the plastic off where it was already kind of coming off, and to me it looks like it's gonna be okay. It still looks pretty under the plastic. And even if there's sticky residue like there, you can see the sticky residue, I think it'll be easy to clean off. So we got the light gray for the ceiling and then the dark charcoal gray for the walls. So, okay, feeling hopeful. I was just thinking, I was cracking myself up. I was like, man, that's coming so clean. It's like we've been forgiven of our sins of leaving him by the building, just getting him mossy and dirty and yucky. It's like we never let them sit outside for 4 years. Look.
No.
Yeah. It's so funny.
I'm working on the water system. I think I've got a plan. We've got city water that goes on the side of it. I've started buying all boat related RV stuff because when you buy RV parts, they're super cheap and plastic. But the stuff that goes on big boats is really high end and high quality, and it's not that much difference in price. So I've got, this is my city water if I want to just plug a hose into it. And then I've got another one where I can fill up the fresh water tank that's equally as nice and high quality, I guess is what you'd say. So this doesn't have to make sense to you guys, but it makes sense to me. So we got a wastewater tank and we got a freshwater tank. That's all we're running. Shower, obviously going to go into the wastewater. Sink will tee into that and go into the waste. And then we got a dump over here. So when we go into an RV park or something, we can empty that wastewater tank. Got a vent, obviously this tank doesn't expand like a bladder, so we've got to let air in and out. This side we got our freshwater tank. This is good potable water. So this will be the fill that I was just talking about, and city water here. Then we got a pump. This is a 12-volt pump. So it'll suck out of the freshwater tank and then go into cold water into the sink, cold water into the shower, and then it'll also supply cold water to our hot water heater over here. This pump has got a check valve in it. So if I want to run city water into the whole system, it's cool because this pump will not allow it to backfill into the freshwater tank and overfill it. So that's how that works. This thing has got a pressure gauge in it. So something like, I don't know how much pressure, but it's preset at a pressure. So once it builds it up and fills all these cold lines up in the hot water heater, it will stop pumping by itself, which is pretty standard on an RV and pretty cool stuff. And then of course over here we just have hot water to the sink, hot water to the shower. Should be pretty simple. Our hot water heater that we just bought, it's over here. It's pretty slick. So this unit works off of propane, LP propane, and this is an instant hot water heater. So this is not one with a tank. All the RVs I've owned in the past have had tanks. This is a tankless. It runs on 12 volt and propane. So again, staying with the theme that if we want to stop at a rest stop, we can still take a shower at night, wash dishes, whatever. Very simple. You've got water outlets, so that's going to be your hot water inlet. That'll be your cold water, and then you just plumb in a propane tank there. Then of course 12 volt, and it's got a nice little controller that this will go in our bathroom, and we can turn it up or down. You know, in the winter we may want the water a little bit hotter. In the summer we'll run it lower, so we're saving propane. But pretty cool. Yeah, I'm excited about it. It's nice to have this down on paper and actually have somewhat of a plan. So I'm gonna start putting tanks in pretty soon.
The brand on this thing is, however you say that.
Yeah.
Apis.
Yeah, it's not an expensive
Apis.
one. You could spend $700. I think we spent $280 or something like that. So
You got it on Amazon?
yep, of course.
Buys a lot of stuff on Amazon.
Amazon works at my speed.
Fast. And everything's covered in sawdust. Oh, that's cool. See the innards.
Yeah,
I'm excited about this thing.
me too. Okay, so I got our tanks in here. This is gonna be our wastewater tank. That's our shower right there. So I'm gonna have to come out of that with a 90 and come through this frame, or joist, whatever you wanna call it, coming to the top of this tank. That is why the tanks are down. If I put them flush against the floor, there wouldn't be enough drop for it to drain efficiently. So they're kicked down. Luckily, they're no lower than our steps, so it's not gonna be a clearance issue. I couldn't figure out how to do this, so I just kind of swung them here about where I wanted it, and then I filled the top up with foam. That way it would space it down and I'd have something to tighten against. So these straps, it's going to get a lot more straps, but also those are going to be tight now that I've got foam in there to tighten up against. Front one's going to be the freshwater, and I wanted these tanks closer to the front of the gooseneck because my truck's so heavy duty that it can take the weight better than my tires. Now I know with the triple axle I've got plenty of weight, you know, distribution, but I still wanted the weight more to the front. So that's why they're like this. And I'm happy with it. I've got foam on the sides so that it can't shift side to side, and I got foam on the top so I can pull up against it. So I think that's gonna work really well. It was gonna be really hard to like cut boards and stuff like that and slide them up in there and then also get it tight. So I think foam was a solution. I think most RV manufacturers would agree. They're pretty good at hacking stuff. So yeah, it looks pretty good.
It looks awesome.
It's gonna work.
Great job.
Thank you.
He's got his unit.
Yep, got to trace a hole in the wall and make a hole.
I came in here earlier and I was like, this thing is a mess. And so I cleaned it out. And it feels so much better in here, just kind of more open. And the way we have this toolbox set up, it has a stainless countertop, and that's really one of the things we love about this setup. We got these boxes, both the upright and this box, from Sonic Tools. We worked with them when we first started our YouTube channel, and they're great guys. And when we were building this trailer a couple of years ago, maybe 4 or 5, I don't know, I messaged them and I was like, hey, we have any scratch and dent junk you could send us for this trailer? And these were available, so they've worked great. And yeah, we like it.
Absolutely. So our next task is put the hot water heater in. Now, I didn't think about this. I thought we were gonna run this unit right here. I don't like the way it operates. It's kind of hard to get it lit, and it's gotta have water pressure on it or it won't light. And I don't like it. Now, because of that, we're switching to that one I showed you earlier that's for RVs. So we need space. It's gonna cut into our trailer some. So I'm gonna cut it in the wall right here. And we've got this sink. This will be for washing dishes, hands, brushing teeth, stuff like that, because we don't really have room in our bathroom for like a vanity bathroom sink deal. So I think the girls are going to build as a cabinet. They both like to weld. But for now, I'm gonna get that hot water heater in, and this will be kind of in the wall like this, and then we'll have a whole enclosure for it. What that does is it gives me a place to put my water pump, all my stuff. That's going to be a bit of a messy area, so it'll be nice to have it in an enclosed box. So that's the thinking. It'll probably change as I go along, but that's what we're thinking right now. I'm about to cut a hole in the trailer. It's nothing but wood and metal. Both those can be repaired, so whatever happens, we'll deal with it.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah. I feel like I just hit frame. It's definitely on metal right there, which, I mean, that's okay. I can take metal out. I just don't want to be drilling through like our pretty aluminum on the outside or something. But I mean, this needs to be where it needs to be. So I'll go ahead and pop these top holes in. How far apart are those bars?
13 inches.
Okay, let's see what this hot water heater is.
That is just over a foot.
Okay, so we probably need to go this way to get on this side of that beam. This will all still be underneath the cabinet, so I'm not worried about how this looks. If I go right about there, that should be getting close to the other side of that beam. Yep, that's it. Now I should be able to straight line between all those, cut that out, and this will slide right in. Cool.
Got our water pump.
Yeah. I bought this water pump for this trailer and had to replace it. This is the third one because one went out in our boat, so I had to rob it for that. Then it went out in the R-Pod, had to rob it for that. Comes with our little screener. This is designed to take the big chunks out so it doesn't end up in your faucet. And I don't know where most people are getting their water from, but I'm not used to having big chunks in my water, so why? I don't know, but it says to use it.
Okie dokie, now that Aaron's got the hot water heater in, he ran to the hardware store to get some fittings and things that he needs to adapt the PEX to all that plumbing for the hot water heater. I am going to start measuring plywood. We've got plywood on this portion, but we're missing a handful of pieces, so I'm gonna start measuring and cutting, getting our insulation foam back in so that we can cross the bridge of getting aluminum on these walls. Okie dokie. As of now, we have kind of hideous but functional insulation on our walls. So we are happy with this. Let's go cut some wood. My board is bowed, so it's working against me.
Okay, so we have updates. Water pump's mounted. I just got screws just long enough to go through this plywood and not pierce through the other side. And then this is on a rubber mounted. Best I could tell, this doesn't need to be laying flat or anything. The only suggestion is that the water is not above the motor. In case it springs a leak, it won't kill the motor. So that's how it's going to be. Pretty simple. Water in, water out. So one of these will go up to the shower, cold, up to the shower, cold up to the sink, and then cold right there to the water inlet. On this, I managed to find these PEX quick connects. You guys know I love these on air systems for trucks. So when I saw those for PEX, I was like, yeah, give me some. So we got that. So that'll be easy. These are also PEX. I managed to find these. The ones that it came with may have been, but they look like they'll probably crush. So I did find ones that are actually designed for PEX. So those will be able to be squeezed down. Then I've got our sink here. That'll be our drain for it. So it'll just make a 90 and go down. I know these are supposed to have a P-trap, so I bought one. I'm not sure what's gonna happen under that sink yet. But that'll just go down through the floor. I think we got it, we're coming together. I've mounted the shower outlet, the faucet, the whatever you call the thing in here, and it'll come out back here. So I've got those pieces also for the quick connect PEX. So this will be sticking out of the wall like that. So one will be hot, one will be cold. And I'll show you, I actually got it installed in here. So this is our fixture. Pretty cool. This is adjustable. It goes up pretty tall. Something Emily and I struggle with. We're both kind of tall people, so hotels, oftentimes the showers hit our head. So we wanted this tall enough to where it would be out of our way. Yeah, that's how it works. And this will be really pretty because it'll just go up against the aluminum like that, and the rest will stick out the wall. Happy with the way it's coming along. So that's our sink that we're gonna mount over there. That little doohickey I showed you a minute ago just screws in the bottom of this, so that's turning out pretty good. And I was in here working and noticed I got some Heine Zeros. That must be from the last trip. You guys know I don't drink anymore, but I still like a cold non-alcoholic beer every once in a while. So that's good. I got something to look forward to. Cool.
Heck yeah.
So this is going to be our drain. Unfortunately, these tanks only had like a small fitting in them, so I've had to adapt them. And now that I'm looking at it, that looks exactly like my potato gun I made in high school. So that's the drain. You know, we got these clamps that'll just kind of hold it up in there. Now the intricate stuff comes in here. This is my shower right here. It's coming straight down. So I've got an elbow on that. Had to reduce that as well because of the size of the tank openings. But that, we will just orient that so it's got a little bit of a drop going into this tank. This little dude right here, it will slide right in between there. This will all be connected. But you see that one kicking forward, it'll come through the top of this beam up here and shoot out this way so we can get to our sink. So that looks pretty solid to me. I think that's gonna work pretty darn good. Once that's all plumbed in, the only thing left is we've got a small port over here on the side, and that's gonna go up higher than our fill level for a vent, so we can let air out because we need that for these. On my freshwater tank, I made a big mistake, and you guys probably saw me doing it and you're probably yelling at the TV, but I put my tank in backwards. So that is an issue. All this needs to do is be filled, and then I need to be able to suck out of the bottom of it for the pump. So these two are okay, but this one is gonna have to be blocked off and plugged, and I don't have a vent. That's the biggest issue. So I have to decide, can it vent through this fill hole? So if I run my hose up to the fill neck and that's not, if that's not sealed, it can vent through there. So I won't have to run a separate vent. I did go ahead and buy a bulkhead that you can basically sandwich this composite so I can get my finger in here and put a bulkhead in. I'm gonna try to just use the neck as the vent. So if that means drill a little pinhole in it or something like that, you know, or tee off of the hose up at the top and put a vent, that'll work fine. It's still gonna work, but I did make a mistake of putting it in upside down. But everything's coming together and looking really nice.
Oh my gosh, those look cool.
Okay, so this is our city water. I'm waiting on the fill port to come in. It'll be a larger diameter where you actually fill the tank with. And then we have down here a 30 amp and a 50 amp. So like I was talking the other day, my generator on my Peterbilt puts out 30 amps. This trailer needs 50 amps. So when we're at a rest stop on the side of the road, or we need air conditioner away from a power supply, I can plug in the 30 amp, it'll run that front air conditioner, the refrigerator, and it'll charge my battery. If I want to run the rear ACs and the big plugs if I need to run power tools, stuff like that, I will need to be at a source plugged into a 50 amp. It's really strange to have two plugs, but we're doing that because our Peterbilt's got a generator and we can use this to at least keep ourselves comfortable at night. If you have been around RVs in the RVing world at all, you got to be wondering, why in the world am I putting all my stuff up here? Because RV parks are always on the driver's side, way back at the back. That's where you have your hookups. There's a good reason for it. Inside the trailer, there is no subfloor. So you've got trailer frame, trailer cross beams, and a floor sits right on it, and the wall starts. There's nowhere to put wires and things underneath this trailer. So if I ran a 50 amp gauge wire all the way back to the back and put my little plug at the back of it, it's either going to have to be inside the trailer up against the wall or inside the wall, but that's also got very solid metal beams. So anywhere I run this wire except right here, it's going to have to go through some structural piece of this trailer. I'd have to literally drill holes through all the beams that go all the way down this trailer. So my thinking is, my fuse box is right here. I can plug in here, go straight up to that. It supplies through the trailer. All the trailer wiring runs through the ceiling. So I can supply that, and I'll just run an extension cord back to when I plug into shore power. It'll work just fine. And those are high enough quality that it's really no different than if I was running the wire inside the trailer. So I got my plugs here, and that's the way I'm doing it. The water, same thing. There wasn't a great place to put water down through there. If I were to run the water underneath the trailer all the way to the back, it's going to be hanging down. It's going to have to go to the bottom of the floor joist, and I don't want that. There's no point when I can just buy a water hose that'll reach it. So that's why everything's right here in a neat, nice location.
I'm holding down on the floor for you.
Okay.
Hold up. Okay, and go.
All right.
Hold on. Oh, you got it. Awesome. I was like, I think I gotta hold down on it more, but no, you got it. Heck yes, dude.
Yeah, buddy.
You're so awesome.
We'll just go this direction over to that tank.
Oh my gosh. Freaking love it.
Do something like that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Get to learn a new skill. I've never messed with PEX before. All my houses have been old and crusty and PVC. So the first thing we have to do, obviously this side goes down to our freshwater tank. That's where it's going to suck water out of. But the city water actually tees into all the other plumbing. So we've got to run one freshwater up to the shower, one down to, I'm going to need another tee down here, but one's going to go down to the hot water heater, the cold side of the hot water heater, and then one of these has to go all the way into the trailer to the front to that little fixture I just put in, the city water. So I'm just learning, and I'm going to start snapping things together and see if I can figure it out.
He bought this really awesome kit that's got a whole bunch of pecs with it, and it came with all the tools.
Yeah.
And the clamps.
Yeah, I got all the clamps right here.
All the fittings and clamps.
Yeah.
It's really awesome.
So I'm about to learn something new.
You're doing it, man.
I already like it. Better than PVC.
I'm on the dovetail into the trailer and it's like sliding me down. That's exciting. One more piece of wood up. It is like a sauna in here. But the wood is up. And I almost threw my impact because I kept freaking dropping screws. But that's okay. One more piece of wood to go. Right back here. Well, let's do it. And Aaron is making great progress over here. This looks so nice.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Heck yes.
Yeah, buddy. So that is going to be our fresh water from the tank. It turns out accidentally putting this tank in here upside down has worked to my advantage. Because now I've got this smaller hose here. That's running straight up to our water pump on the suction side.
It's a new day. I've just swept the shop out and made it feel fresh and nice and ready. I just looked back on our YouTube channel on the playlist for this trailer and it has been 5 years since we've worked on it. Time flies when you're having fun. That's the reality. We got the trailer good enough to use and then we jumped over to other projects that needed our attention. So we're back and we're going to see this thing look better than ever very, very soon. Look down in.
There it is. City water is hooked up. I'll show you underneath. So yeah, pretty simple. This will be secured up to the bottom here. Get some spacer so it doesn't hit our propane. That black steel right there, black pipe, what do you want to call it?
Right here.
Yeah, that's our propane that's going to go to our hot water heater. So this is city water, obviously freshwater tank, and it's plumbed up exactly where it needs to be to the back of that pump. So it's all there. I'm waiting on a fitting to come in to adapt the fill hose up there. So it's like 99% done. All the plumbing back there, none of that's been glued on, but it's all done. It's all pre-cut, in place. So I just got to knock it apart, put some glue on it, but feeling pretty good about it. Pretty this up. That one will be pulled out that way, secured. We'll make those look much nicer. Yeah, we got our sink coming down. And over here we got our shower. That just turns and goes into the top of that tank. And the sink, that's got a Y pipe on it, so it goes into it. Everything looks like it's pretty well downhill. But you know, this is a trailer that all changes, so just have to work it out. And then of course my drain here, my little bazooka, that'll just get glued in and then get some of these clampies on it. I think it's great. It may not work perfectly, but we have jacks, so we can adjust it if it needs to drain more this direction. So it's good. It's gonna work.
Now I have to get up off the ground. And I'm lazy. I don't want to. I just want to lay here. It's breezy. It's nice.
Whew, it is roughly 7 p.m. We got a coffee here. She didn't drink coffee, so I've got the coffee and the tape measure because we're about to go in the enclosed trailer and tinker with the cabinet that's going to have the sink in it. So Chloe loves to weld. She learned how to weld in high school, and it was like initially a passion, right?
Right.
And so have you welded much since then?
Just a little bit, but not too much.
So I'm excited to get her on our machine because it's so nice. And she was like, do you have any long sleeve shirts I can wear? I'm like, I got a sick welding jacket. So I'm excited to let her weld. I don't know if you guys saw the videos 5 years ago, but I really enjoyed welding and building the framing for a bunch of this stuff already, like the cabinet over there that's got our Camp Chef stove and the bathroom and everything. I love welding. It's so fun. And of course this one does too. And our niece, TK, the kid, recently learned how to weld too. So we're just a bunch of welding ladies around here and we like it. So we're about to get some measurements and pull that square tubing out because we saved all that. It was on top of the aluminum that was over in the weeds. So pulling it back out and seeing if we can make some stuff. So we can get the depth of that one. We just measured our countertop that's over right there, and it's 40 and a half high. We'll get the depth of it, but actually the depth doesn't matter because we just have to do the depth of the sink. The sink is gonna be right here at 40 and a half, I guess. And so we're gonna center the faucet on this wall. And yeah, we're gonna get a piece of wood like we did over there, stain it, make it match, and build out a little frame. So we'll get the depth of this. I'll let you measure that. And then maybe we'll do an inch more. That way we have a ½ inch on either end.
1 foot 8 inches, so like 20, a little bit under 20 inches.
Okay. The amount of brain power it took to get the 3 measurements of square tubing that we need was substantial. We first started with like basic measurements, and then we were like, oh wait, we have to account for the inch that each piece of square tubing is going to account for. We'll have things 2 inches longer than we wanted them. It was a whole thing, and I drank all my coffee and it still didn't help. But we're going to go back to the bandsaw, fire it up, and see what we can make. Plus we have Aaron on our side, so what can go wrong? I'm the mule. No, he's the brains. We all know this. One of my most favoriteest tools in this here shop. Let's cut some metal.
Let's do it. 34 and a half.
34 and a quarter. Yes, right there. Yep.
I'm gonna want it on this side.
Okay. Is that about where?
Yeah, right there.
Okay.
Perfect.
Tighten this down really good. Check out how cute it is. See the light switch down at the bottom? It turns it off when it hits it. Isn't that so cute?
That's so cool.
I know, I love it. Okay. It's all of a sudden like bedtime, but really just like go home and edit time. We got 2 out of the 3 of our cuts done. Tomorrow we need to do 4 20-inch pieces, and then we will be able to build some stuff out. But right now we're gonna go home and edit and then get a little bit of rest and come back and film some more tomorrow, more progress. See y'all then. We are currently at Lowe's and we were just poking around. Honestly, it's pouring down rain and cold outside and we were putting off work. But we came over to the cabinets because I was like, oh, I want to find a cabinet door that looks clean that we can install with our metal frame. And Aaron was like, well, why don't you just get a cabinet actually? And I'm like, oh my gosh, we should do that. That makes way too much sense. So my hesitation is that the wood's gonna kind of want to fall apart. Like I really like the heavy dutiness of building it out of metal. So maybe down the road we're gonna regret, sorry babe. Maybe down the road we're gonna regret doing like just a basic cabinet, but I think we're gonna go for it and try it out and see how it goes. So
Yeah, right
it makes
over
too much
here,
sense.
There's actually countertops that look very similar to the one we have in our kitchen. So check this one out.
Okay.
Like we're kind of in a hurry to get this stuff done. And that looks pretty similar.
Yes, it does.
It may not be as nice as what we have, but it'll be something that can just be cut and thrown in there.
Oh my gosh. What? That's not $450. That's something other than that. If it is, then we're buying a
This
piece
is
of
something
wood and
that's
staining
10
it.
foot.
We'll look that up.
Yeah.
We may just get another piece of wood because I actually really enjoyed staining the other one that we have because we just got that over on the wood aisle, not in the like fancy countertop area. So we'll see. But I think we're gonna get a cabinet from Lowe's this morning. And Chloe and I were looking forward to metal work and welding. We had fun cutting the pieces yesterday, but we were also dreaming about like cool stuff we could make, like furniture and stuff out of the metal. So maybe we'll do that with those pieces we cut instead of trying to build something fast for the trailer. Yeah. Cabinet's loaded up. Too funny. Okay. Well, Chloe, that was easy to build a cabinet. Yup.
Right about there, does that still look good?
I think so. That's so snazzy.
Nice. That mixed with this, like,
Dang.
too good for this old trailer.
Spiffy.
Nice.
Well, you know what, guys? We're going to call it here. We thought we were going to get a lot more progress done in this episode, but that is how it goes. This week we were filming 2 videos at once because our nieces were working on the K10 truck engine swap all week, and we kept running over there and helping. So I think we probably only had about 3 days worth of actual work time in this episode on the enclosed trailer. But dude, Aaron is the real MVP. He got so much done, and I'm really actually quite excited about the wooden cabinet that the sink is going to go in because that's going to save a lot of time.
Yeah, that's going to save a lot of time.
Yeah.
We got to be out of town here pretty soon. We did get all the plumbing done. All I have to do, including the toilet, that toilet is designed where it's got like an electronic flush. I've even got PEX running to that for fresh water. So as soon as I get 12-volt systems together, like the toilet needs 12 volt, the water pump needs 12 volt, and then lights. Once we get that done, we're pretty close to having a much more functional trailer.
It's going to be so good. And as y'all know, you will be seeing us next week with more progress. And we are so excited to hit the road and Optimus Grime and make more memories. And y'all will be coming along with us per usual. It means a whole bunch when you take time to subscribe and comment. We love y'all so much, and we'll see you on the next episode.